Hello Fly Tyers, welcome to another episode of Aaron at the Fly Desk. We'll get things lit up right here. Get that glare out. There we go. Today we are going to tie a black and purple woolly bugger. I'm basically going to show you how to tie a woolly bugger and dress it up a little bit and make it irresistible to fish. I learned fishing still waters as a kid that a black woolly bugger works great, but a black woolly bugger with a little bit of purple in it works amazing. So I'm going to show you today one of these woolly buggers. So first we're going to get some strung marabou, and we're just going to use straight black, and I like my tail just a little bit longer than my hook shank. Today we're using a size 8. I cut that a little too short, but no worries, we will make it work. So first thing we do is we put our marabou right straight on the hook, and I keep my thread all the way back to the hook barb. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some purple crystal flash, and we're going to add this to our tail. What we'll do is just get a few little strands, and I attach it to where it almost looks like a V-wing. So I got one there, and then I bring this over, and then I pull everything together. And now I've got a little bit of purple in that tail. This tail looks a little bit thinner than I want, so what I'm going to do is add just a little bit more marabou. Right here to the top, and it's going to help my taper because I cut that first a little bit too short. There, that's more like it. Okay, so you can, whoops, kicking the camera. So you can see a little bit of that purple flashing through there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some purple chenille in this fly. This is a really dark purple chenille that I get from Yellowstone Fly Goods. You have to look real close to tell that it's not black. I really like this. Okay, and then we will get a strand of black saddle hackle like this. And what I like to do is take my hackle and just comb it backwards, and then I can kind of see my lengths. This is a little bit too thin on top, so I'm going to cut that top piece off like so. And then what I like to do is trim it just a little bit, so I've got something good to tie on to. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm leaving plenty of room up front, and I'm going to show you a technique to do with woolly buggers that makes them work a little bit better in my opinion. So next thing we're going to do is we're simply going to wrap our chenille like so. Once again, I'm leaving a little extra room than I normally would on a fly like this. Okay, next thing we do is we take our hackle, we start wrapping it through nice and even. You can see as I wrap, I'm flowing it backwards. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some red. This is a cool technique because it makes this fly look a little bit different than the average black and purple woolly bugger, and I think fish like it. I found that orange and red, when you add them to a fly, seems to trigger more strikes. So I put it on fairly thick right here at the front. Cut that off nice and tight. And I'll actually wrap my thread through just a little bit, just to give it a little more strength. So you can see we've got purple and black, and then it flows up, and then right at the head of the fly you've got that red. And I have found, especially in the early spring, that triggers a lot more strikes. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you one more trick to these flies. So we're going to build up our head, and on this I'm just using some Danville 3/0 monocord, so it's nice and thick. And then I'm going to whip finish. Whoops. Grabbed a little bit of hackle there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is get some of this UV glue in red, and I'm going to, whoops, I gotta shake it up a little bit. Turn on my UV light. It just makes it a little more glossy on the top. Take that. Now this fly is nice and sealed. Flows very good from back to front, and it definitely will catch some fish. So this is a neat fly because you can either put a bead on the top, you can put lead in the middle. Most of the time I will put lead. This one, our water levels are really low, and so I haven't been weighting my flies near like I used to, because everything's clear and low and the fish seem to see it just fine. So thank you for watching today this episode of Aaron at the Fly Desk on how to enhance your woolly buggers. Thanks for watching.